Welcome to our series special, a unique segment of Narratives and Nightcaps, the book club podcast, where we dive into the details of a book series, pair it with a nightcap, and leave a book review. I'm Jordan.
I'm Emily.
We've been doing so well. Like, almost had it.
My bad. You go.
I was going to say you go. Well, I'm Emily.
I'm Bree.
I'm Megan.
Eventually we'll get this.
I love it. Oh my goodness. It's so good to see all of you. I've definitely missed you guys, even though I know it hasn't been like super long since we've recorded. And I feel like we've definitely like talked more off pod recently, but I'm just really grateful for you ladies and excited to be here. Although now that this is starting, I'm also like, do I really want to do this? Because I don't know that I want this series and this book to end. So we're gonna, we're just.
I thought you were gonna say you might not make it through the episode without crying.
That is also a very strong possibility. So, listener, what Bree is talking about, we read The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. And this is wrapping up Thursday Murder Club series. I'm kind of sad, but I'm also excited to keep moving. Bree, you were going to say something.
Oh, I mean, it won't be the first time anyone's cried on this podcast because Megan and I cried our way through talking about the Nightingale.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever cried. Like, I'm not really a crier.
No, you're not.
And then we start talking about stuff and I'm like, oh my God. And I just like can't hold it in.
Do you want to share the news in the book film adaptation world today? Because
it's happening. Like, it's happening. Finally. Like, for years and years and years, we've been talking about this with Dakota and Elle Fanning, and it is finally first of all, when Chris and Hannah posted a little like teaser about it, I about lost it. And then when that got posted today, I'm pretty sure it was like in the middle of a call, and I was just like, hold on, everybody, stop.
News break.
Like, this is way more important than what we're talking about right now. I have to go.
Everybody needs to know this.
Yeah.
I have to go. Like, this is so important. This needs my undivided attention right now.
Oh my gosh. I know. I'm so excited. So yes, listener, The Nightingale is finally coming to screen. We have to wait until 2027 for it. I'm a little bit bummed.
We've waited this long. We can do it.
Right. I was thinking that when I was reading today. I was like, it's taken this long. What's another year and a half? Honestly.
You have at least like light at the end of the tunnel. Instead of like you at least know like it's coming, right? Versus being
and I
big.
thought about you, Bree, in the sense of like that still gives you a lot of time to press this book into so many other readers' hands.
Oh, for sure. I'll be telling everybody about this book. I will myself do another reread. I've got so much time. I could fit in two rereads. So
merch coming soon. If you see Bree on the street pushing and pedaling the Nightingale, like don't be alarmed. She's okay.
Everything is fine.
Or not, depending on the subject matter.
God. I'm so excited. It's going to be so, so great. Well, yes, that is super exciting book world news. Oh my gosh. We should probably just go into this because if I don't, I'm going to like lose my nerve. And then, like Bree said, I don't know if I'm going to make it without crying. So yes, listener, again, like I said, we're covering The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. I'm so, so excited to hear your ladies' thoughts. But Emily, share the pairing with us for this book.
Sure. So for this one, a couple of different angles on this, but I chose to pair it with Poppy Wine's Cabernet. So rich, bold, and just sentimental enough to match the absolute roller coaster that The Last Devil to Die was. I think our group chat was evident of that, especially like, I think it was chapter 60 and 72, and we'll get to them, but like there were specific moments where like my phone was going bzz, 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 with all of the back and forth because there was so much going on.
Sorry, but I'm not sorry.
All good. No, but so Poppy Wines, this cab itself, has depth and structure, which I think, considering all the different angles in this book, is perfect for unraveling not only art crimes, tracking heroin smugglers, and also, as I said, processing chapter 60. I'm still not over it. That's the point that we may lose it. But also Poppy Wines, their label has a poppy flower on the front, as it would make sense, which I thought was especially fitting because the poppy is a symbol of remembrance, which I think really echoes this story's themes of love, loss, and holding on to memories. So it's the kind of wine that, in my opinion, is something that it'll hug you while Joyce makes you laugh and Elizabeth breaks your heart. Cheers.
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 Oh, I love that.
Saddest cheers I've ever heard.
So, here is the setup. You'd think you would be allowed to relax over Christmas, but not in the world of the Thursday Murder Club. On Boxing Day, a dangerous package is smuggled across the English coast. When it goes missing, chaos is unleashed. The body count starts to rise, including someone close to the Thursday Murder Club, as our gang faces an impossible search and their most deadly opponents yet. With the clock ticking down and a killer headed to Cooper's Chase, has their luck finally ran out? And who will be the last devil to die? And that was courtesy of Goodreads, everyone. But that is the setup and synopsis for The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. What were our initial thoughts before we dive in?
I'll say it because I think we're gonna get there anyway. I thought the last devil to die was gonna be Stephen.
Okay.
And I didn't think, and we'll get into like there were other devils in this like around that, right? But I thought it was gonna be him, and I was both wrong and right, which was sad.
I know.
Yeah.
Bree, what did you think?
I mean, overall, once again, like I thought it was just like a wonderfully written story that encompasses so much and balances it all so well with humor and then a lot more grief explored in this one and then also the mystery. For me, with this one, I would say that the characters really drove the story for me, less the mystery and the plot. I was very, very invested in their individual stories for our main crew, I should say.
Yes. Yes. I would definitely agree with that. Ibrahim, for example, took quite a plot twist that I feel like I was both anticipating or expecting, but not. And we'll get to that. But what about you, Megan? What did you think? Oh,
You're muted.
This is gonna drive me nuts. Sorry, can you ask me the question again? And Bree, you just chop out whatever you need to chop out for me because this is
just your initial thoughts of the book.
No, I did agree that I thought the last devil to die would also be Stephen. Just I think we had predicted that from our third episode anyway, so I feel like I went into that mentality. I was in shock and awe with Ibrahim's story. Like I don't know. I felt like I had this sense about him, and then I, heard everything that he went through in his life, and I'm very grateful that we did get so much light shed on him. And I'm also really glad that we got to see the softer side of Elizabeth. I feel like she definitely toned it down a lot this book, which I think was really needed, especially as she was taking such good care of Stephen and just really focusing on like her family and her priorities versus everything else going on. So
yeah, and seeing her not even also like being able to kind of engage into that like softer side like you're talking about, but I think also allow Joyce to take center stage a little bit more. Like it was just so cute and so sweet and fun to see Joyce in that role and in that space, which we'll definitely get to. And I want to touch on Ibrahim's kind of background as well. Emily, did you have more thoughts you wanted to share on just initial thoughts of the book?
And I mean, I would echo, I think, what Bree and Megan and Jordan, you've been saying. It was definitely, I feel like, more character driven. Even the side characters, like, I don't mean side,
Yes.
but like even their stories I found really interesting. And I feel like we got a little more backstory with them,
Hmm.
which was great to see. And I was more invested in that way. The box was, it kind of was weird. I was listening to the audiobook and it was like, no, I don't want to hear about the box. Like, take me back to this person's story, or like, take me back to, this. I think a couple of highlights for me that were just comedic relief throughout this book. We'll get into it, but Mervyn and the online
Yes.
scam was just absolute comedic gold. Like, I
Great
just
place to start. So the book
loved
opens
that.
up. We have Mervyn from Cooper's Chase, who is a victim of romance fraud. Emily, tell us what's been going on with poor Mervyn.
Yeah, you guys correct me on this because to be honest, it's been several books since I've read this one. But um, Mervyn basically thought that he was messaging online like a ballerina or a dancer over
Tatiana.
in Tatiana, right? Over in, I believe it was Russia, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe I
And
can't remember.
or somewhere, right, a different country. And she had been asking him for money to come visit, and it was very much in a romantic vein. And so he ended up sending her like $5,000 over the course of several requests, but like the plane tickets went missing, or they didn't come through, or she couldn't get on the flight, or her brother got sick, or it was just like over and over that she wasn't coming. But Mervyn was absolutely convinced that like they were in love, and his Tatiana was going to come over. And then he's having lunch with the Thursday Murder Club and is showing him pictures of Tatiana. And it's like a Google image of a famous dancer, ballerina, or somebody. And so they, of course, jump in to help Mervyn. But they help him without Mervyn, like, knowing they're helping him, because he cannot be convinced that his love for Tatiana and hers for him is not true.
This was what
Um,
was so silly to me. Not even Chris and
yeah.
Donna. Listen, we'll bring Chris and Donna into the
Yeah.
chat for a second. Like Joyce, Ron, Ibrahim, and Elizabeth all lovingly
Yeah.
even bring Chris and Donna into the mix. And
Yeah.
tried, like, can you talk to Mervyn? Like,
Well, so here's the thing. I know someone who knew someone that was experiencing this like in real life.
oh,
And it got brought up to both Jared and I, and we were both like, literally immediately, we were red flags,
Red. Yeah.
red flags, and we both look and we're like that's fraud, that's not real. And this person was like so caught off guard by the fact that, and it wasn't even happening to them, it was like happening to a friend, but they believed it for their friend too. We're like, so that also is in the back of my head this entire time, this like real conversation that had happened.
oh my
Um,
gosh.
because I thought it was real. I still think about that a lot because I don't
Dang.
know if Jared and I were actually heard in our concerns at that
I was
moment.
about to ask, did they believe you?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't think so. Like the person we were with, like, it was her friend, and she was so caught off guard by the fact that we were like, that's not a real person.
real.
Well, they're a real person. They're just trying to get money from you.
Right.
And yeah, she was so caught off guard. I don't know what transpired. I've been hesitant to ever ask or bring it up because
Oh my gosh.
so
Dang.
but also,
Too
can we
funny.
talk about the name Mervyn? Because do you guys know Merv the cat on Instagram / TikTok?
No.
Oh, okay. Disregard. I will change your lives this evening.
Okay.
I love it.
I'm ready for my life to be changed. So yes, and Mervyn will obviously, he's kind of embedded throughout the storyline. I don't know about anybody else. Maybe we'll bring him up more later. Maybe we won't. I did reach a certain point, though, where I kind of thought things would be more interconnected with that storyline for some reason than they actually were. I don't know. Like,
But
I almost got to a point where I thought the person that was ripping Mervyn off was the killer of Koldesh Sharma. So yes, that is like the climax of the story, listener. Koldesh, who was close friend to Stephen and Elizabeth, ended up dying, ended up being murdered. I don't know why, but I just thought that was that anybody else's headcanon or no? Was that just me?
I
I
didn't
guess
go there.
I didn't go there either.
Okay. Maybe
Didn't
that
mean
was
to cut
just
you
me.
off,
But
Emily.
I see it. I was happy. I will say though, Jordan, and maybe we can close off Mervin's story because it was a side story, which was really funny. But
It was.
you know, it popped up. But in the end, I really liked how when they were wrapping everything up, they found a way to pay Mervin back his
Yes.
$5,000. Like,
Yes.
and I don't remember if he actually knew or not, but like he ended up being whole money. What like they covered what had been
Yes.
um, you know, taken from him, which I thought was a really nice, like, big bow on that, you know, side
That
story.
was agreed.
I
No,
think
Yeah.
definitely
the
agreed.
other like maybe important plot line to that whole story was bringing in Bob, right?
Mm.
Like I feel
Mm,
like he's now kind of still
Computer
on the
Bob.
outskirts, but coming in closer with the gang. And I feel like he was kind of essential as the story moves on. I mean, he was getting enveloped into the group a little bit there,
he
especially
was.
when it came to like giving Ibrahim a sounding board for a little
Yeah.
bit there too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. No, I love
Good
that.
point.
I definitely would agree there. And then as far as other new characters, because each story, right, kind of brings each book, if you will, in the series brings in these like new characters. I want to bring sort of Samantha and Garth into the chat for a second and talk about them. Um, because well, first of all, what did you think about Samantha and Garth? So we meet Samantha. She is also in the antiques business like Koldesh was, more so art. Sorry, more so art. And she is more of a con, I would say, than Koldesh is. Koldesh, we learn and know, has dabbled, if you will, but like not as exclusively. And Samantha and her partner Garth will just kind of forge left and right. Um, I didn't like them at first, and then I sort of did.
Mhm.
And then at the
Yeah.
same time, I wasn't seeing her death coming at all.
That's where I was.
We're just going to
So
talk about how people picking people off
I,
one after the other.
I'm partially with you, Jordan. I never really liked Garth, to be
Okay.
honest. Like, that was just, it just wasn't, I didn't vibe well with his character. But, and Samantha kind of put me off too at the beginning. But then when I heard her story of how she, because Garth was her second marriage, right?
Yes, yes.
And her story of like how she got into being, I guess, what she was with Garth, which is, to you put your like forging right and left. I think Samantha's the definition of the phrase "it's a slippery slope." And so, like, because I just to put that out there, listeners, that like with her first husband, they were totally above board and they got everything appraised and like they ran a cute little antiques business. And then the two of them decided to play a little game, like one day, just like between the two of them, right? To put an item in a case and mark it up in like exorbitantly and say it's some famous this, that, or the other and see who could sell it first.
And
And
they would just make a competition of it between the
right,
two of them of like who could get more, who could get the most.
right. And it wasn't like the whole shop. It was like one item that they started with, but then they replaced the item. And then it became two, like, then it just grew and grew and grew. And then her skill with painting, you know, allowed her to, then it grew into like forging paintings. And it just like I said, her character felt like the definition of it's a slippery slope. And then she was so far into it that there was no going back because the money was
Yeah.
really good. And then her husband died and she met Garth, and Garth just like was the gasoline to that fire, and they kept going.
Well, and to talk about how Samantha and Garth got together, Samantha and Garth ended up together because Samantha and her previous husband, I'm forgetting his name now. I don't know why I think it's
Yeah.
Nick for some reason. I can't
Doesn't
remember
matter.
what it was. Doesn't matter, not important. But they had sold him a forgery. They had sold him a fake painting. And so he actually had like come after Samantha, like wanting to attack her. And it was like this, like, I don't know if it was, I don't remember if Richard Osman like described it as like love at first sight or anything like that, but then they went into business together and the rest is history for them.
It
So
was
to
like
speak.
love at gunpoint because I'm pretty sure he
Yes.
I was
literally
gonna say,
wanted to kill her.
I was gonna say, like, I'm not sure that was the strongest, like, foundation beginning,
No.
but,
Maybe
you know,
not.
each
Maybe
their own.
not.
Yeah.
How I met my
Though,
husband, so I don't know.
at
I'm just kidding.
gunpoint?
No, I'm kidding.
What?
I was there, so.
Yeah, it was not at gunpoint.
Well, Samantha and Garth will come back into the mix probably again in a little bit. Let's talk about for a second what Chris and Donna go through. Okay, first of all, loved the police banter in this book, especially. Don't know why. On like the comedic side for whatever reason. And I know Law and Order SVU is not very funny, but Chris and Donna were definitely giving me Benson and Stabler vibes. Like,
Okay.
Mm,
I just thought that they
So
were like,
where are you going with
Yeah,
this?
Law and
I
Order
don't
SVU is
know. I
not
don't
funny.
know. Okay, because listen, listener, Jill Reagan, this Jill Reagan, okay, who is this Jill Reagan chick?
A
Honestly.
bitch, a real bitch.
But I respected her in the end.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I came
So-
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I came around in the end, but I was like, who is this? Oh my gosh. So, listener, Jill Reagan comes in and basically wipes out Chris and Donna's after Koldesh is murdered and Chris and Donna and their team are getting ready to investigate. This crime unit, NCA, National Crime Agency, I think. I can't remember exactly who Jill Reagan was from, but she like comes in and tells them that her team is taking over the investigation and that they're not to even like touch anything anymore. They're going to be investigating petty theft. As a matter of fact, they need to go look after this
The
farmer who's
horses.
the horses,
Yeah.
yes, the horse that was stolen. It's just so funny. And of course, they continue investigating, whatever. But yeah, I struggled with her, and then I came around to her in the end.
For sure.
I liked
That
her.
like last exchange with Chris, and
I
he
was just gonna
was so good. And then just on a quick note with him, I love that he's like fully embraced the dark side that is the Thursday Murder Club. He's just like, yes, I will do those
Yes.
illegal things in support of this group, and they will figure it out. Like, I have full confidence in them.
I
Well,
almost feel like
Yeah.
the other team coming in like really pushed him toward that because he's like, well, if we can't do it, they definitely can. So might as well give them the boost.
it's just funny because like the Thursday Murder Club is like doing all this work trying to figure out who's murdered Koldesh, blah blah blah. And doesn't Elizabeth even have a conversation with Jill at one point? She's like, "What do you have? Do you have anything? I know this. I know this. I know that." Like, so yes. And the last exchange, listener, if you haven't read this book, I would say definitely the scene where like the three of them, Chris, Donna, and Jill, like have this conversation. It's so worth reading for that as well, because
I feel like she got, I don't want to say like she got her due as she tried to come in and just bulldoze everything and take over and we're going to solve this and get it done. And then as it progressed, she just kept getting like, I don't know, just pushed back and like it wasn't going her way. And it was just such a nice coming together moment when she
Yes.
kind of like came to the table and was like, okay, here's my cards. Let's just get, so it was well done.
It was. I think so too. I definitely think so. We do see a familiar face come back in the form of Mitch Maxwell. We can talk about him for a little bit. And Connie Johnson. Connie Johnson makes a return too.
I'll read it.
I liked Connie less in
I agree
this
with that.
book.
Yes.
Not
That's the
gonna lie.
reason for my face.
All good. I'm with you.
It was rough.
I liked her the last book more and not so much
She was kind of mean to Ibrahim. Not
Yeah.
only did she lie to him, she was mean to him after she hadn't been for a while. So, I don't know. Listener, basically, and anyone can jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of what happens there is Ibrahim, of course, is continuing these sessions with Connie, and he comes to visit her, and he's giving her the rundown of like what's happened to Koldesh. And, Koldesh was in charge of handling this exchange of cocaine in this terracotta box, and oh no, now he's dead, and what's happened. And Connie kind of decides to take matters into her own hands, even behind prison bars. And yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't love it, because we do ultimately find out it was like her handler that killed Koldesh, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
I can't remember.
Here's my question though, because there's another book coming out this fall, right? The
Right.
5th book is coming
Right.
out. And Connie, I feel like the first couple books, while a criminal and committing crimes and breaking the law, was kind of an endearing, like Bogdan, like in a different
Mhm.
vein, but like was an endearing,
Yes.
like, yes, you're not a great person, but you like maybe have a heart, right?
Mhm.
And then this book, she like was not doing that. And I wonder if it's because she's going to come back in the 5th book with some key pivotal role, or some like she's going to have a redemption. Like he set her up for not great this book to have a redemption next book. I don't know.
Well, remind me, does Mitch die in this book? Yes.
Mhm.
Mitch Maxwell, Connie Johnson, they have been criminals that we have followed in this series from the beginning. And Mitch Maxwell met his end. So maybe, just maybe. I would agree with that. I mean, I intend and plan to read book 5 for sure, 100% regardless, but like if that's the direction book 5 took, I wouldn't be mad about it.
I think she'll be there for sure, because I don't
Yeah.
think he's kept her around just to like drop her off
Yeah.
on the
No.
show and be like, all right, and that's that. She lived in prison and ran her drug ring. She specializes in heroin and cocaine now, so there's
Well, I
that
think
branching
that's the
out.
thing. Is the Thursday Murder Club basically not they didn't do this on purpose, but like her competition as a result of all of these sum of actions has been wiped out. Again, nobody like intentionally took out her competition, but
Right.
effectively the board is clear for Connie
Yes.
to take over.
Well, wait,
So I don't know.
except
We'll
for
see.
Garth?
Well, I feel like
But
Garth
he
is
kind of
still,
skips town.
yeah,
I
he's
think
kind of
Garth
still in
is
the
a
antique.
goner.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's
That's
Lance.
true.
We don't care about him anymore.
Yeah, he's
He's
out. He's
Who's
he's
gone.
he's now cute,
Lance who?
not critical.
Wasn't Lance from the second book? I'm like, am I crazy?
Yeah, and we for sure thought
Like,
Lance would be back, and then he
And
Yes,
he like
with his
hasn't. I
hair
think Garth
plugs.
is out. Yeah. I think Garth is out. I think Connie has like cleared the chessboard and she's ready to move in with something big in the next book. There's my
Plus,
prediction.
I feel like obviously the conversation has still stayed that like she needs to kill Ron, so that's gonna come back around. Like
Mhm.
we're going to figure out if Ron's not gonna die, obviously.
No.
Well, knock
No.
on wood, but we have to figure out if she's gonna do it or not, or how she gets out to do it.
Yeah.
true. No, that is a good point. And then again, speaking of these people dropping like flies, just left and right, that's I think a great place to bring in Dom Holt, the one that was he working with or working for Mitch? I can't remember.
Who
Can't
was
remember.
who
I
was
feel like
who?
they were working together. I feel like they might have.
They
Yeah.
were, but I feel like one was sent as like the handler of the other because one couldn't do like whoever was getting in trouble at the port where like they were supposed to be doing the initial smuggle is who they sent in the other person to like help handle the rest of the job.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember who was Mitch and who was Dom.
Mitch was the one that was supposed to handle and complete the transaction.
After it got to Koldesh.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I think
If I
this just
They were at
underscores.
different phases of like the handoff.
Right, right.
So
But then eventually they're just both together.
I think this underscores what we opened this episode with, that like the characters were more interesting in this
they
Yeah.
book
were.
Yes.
than necessarily the like, because I think in the previous books we were like totally red string on a wall with the murder mystery, and because I'm with you, I couldn't
Well,
tell
for
you
sure.
Dom versus Mitch, but
Yeah.
I certainly can tell you about like, you know, Stephen and the Snowy Fox.
Yes.
Like,
the fox
Okay.
didn't have to happen. Like,
No.
oh, that was
Agree.
so unnecessary.
Okay, we're gonna get there. I'm not ready, but we're gonna get there eventually. Okay, but talking about Dom, so he's also in this ring of drug lords, underlords, whatever. Okay, who did not love the football game scene? So when Bogdan and Donna are there at the football game and they're like spying on Dom, trying to like get information. And this is also at the same time, I can't remember. Oh, well, this Chris and Patrice were also doing something similar, but not at a football game.
Yes.
I don't know. I just
I
thought
thought it was funny.
great. I thought it was excellent.
I
They
love that
both-
he just knew who they were the whole time
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
He's just like,
Yes.
what are you doing here?
That because Bogdan comes to sit beside him and they're just like making casual conversation, and then Dom's like, that's Donna DeFreitas behind you, like da-da-da.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, well
Yeah.
then. And not so long after that, listener, Dom is also dead. So there you go. Again, all of these criminals just dropping like flies in this one for sure.
Who gets thrown off of the parking garage?
Luca.
Luca.
Another-
God, that's who I was
By
forgetting
Garth.
about.
By Garth.
By Garth.
By
Yeah.
Garth.
That's what I thought. That
Because
was like,
Luca, here we go with the red string and
Yes.
because Luca killed Samantha.
He
No.
didn't
Yep.
kill her. He thought Garth thought
thought.
Luca
Garth,
killed her.
yes. Garth thought that Luca killed Samantha.
Who
Correct.
did kill her? I don't even remember.
Connie's henchman. Connie's.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's been a minute since I read this book. I definitely
I'm with
should
you on
have.
this. It's okay.
Because now, like Luca, Dom, Mitchell, like they're all the same person.
Well, there were a lot of people in this book, and
were.
also
Yeah.
a lot. Pretty much anything that happened after chapter 60 was like, my head was somewhere else.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so is this, are we
Should we
getting
just-
to it?
Should we
I
I think we
dive
just do
in?
it. Just
But I
bite the
don't-
bullet.
But I don't really want to. Okay. Well,
I won't cry.
because Megan is soulless. I'm just kidding. She's
Yep. I'll cry about other things, but not this.
Bree said cry about the fox. If for nothing else, cry for the fox.
That was sad.
That was sad.
But-
Okay,
Okay.
so-
So now I also am curious. Sorry to cut you off, Jordan, but
no.
like every book cover has had the fox on it. So what's going to be on book 5?
No, there is still a fox on book 5. If you
Is
look
it?
at the cover.
Okay.
Yes.
Because the fox is, I'm pretty sure it's the white
covers- Yes.
tipped ears.
If the cover, if you've looked at the covers, they actually all do look really similar.
Oh,
It's
for sure.
hard to tell them apart, but they do all have foxes. Okay.
Okay.
So backing up as far as what's going on with Stephen, obviously we know that he's losing his memory. We know he's losing his mind. He's been deteriorating. Before we get to chapter 60 and specifically what happens, I do just really want to call out chapter 23 from Stephen's point of view. This is a really hard chapter to read. And if you or anyone that you know is dealing with Alzheimer's, is dealing with dementia, has any of these mental health traps, or just is obviously deteriorating this way, I thought that Richard Osman did this very respectfully. I thought that he did it very accurately. I thought that he did it really well. From Stephen's point of view, listener, it's described almost just as like a circling the drain. Sometimes things come, sometimes things go. It's hard to keep straight what's real, what's true, what's not. Yeah,
I'm
I
with you.
I had a
I
hard
think
time with that story, with that chapter,
Hmm.
actually.
I'm with you. I think Jordan, and correct me because I'm with you, Megan. It's been a few books since
Hmm.
this one. Um, but I think maybe it was chapter 23 or thereabouts when we learned that Stephen wrote like himself and Elizabeth a letter,
Yes.
and it goes through, right, like kind of his thoughts, his wishes in a way. And it's one that he has read or Elizabeth has read to him or they've read together, multiple times. Um, am I right? And
Yes.
It made
it
it
kind
seem
of,
like it was almost like daily, like a daily
yeah, it kind
affirmation
of reminded me
reminder.
of like The Notebook, the
I
movie.
was just gonna say that.
Like literally
Mm,
kind of, I got Notebook vibes from
Yep,
that.
I
that's a good
got Notebook
comparison.
vibes and I got One Day vibes from this
Yep,
book. Like two of the
yep,
saddest stories.
yep.
Yeah, so listener, after he was diagnosed, Stephen wrote this letter detailing to Elizabeth essentially what his wishes were and what he wanted. And he had organized it to where a year after his diagnosis, his solicitor, his lawyers would send him the letter. He would insist that Elizabeth read the letter to him every day. And ultimately, together, Elizabeth and Stephen made the decision to end to put him out of his misery, to end his life. Um,
Not the
and
first friend that they've done this to. This is not the first one.
no,
No. Which I will throw out, just trigger warning if listeners you haven't thought, like trigger warning on this one with assisted um, suicide
suicide.
here,
Hmm. Hmm.
That was
which is
from me
a
before you. Oh my goodness.
which
So
is which is a whole
Uh,
like topic. But I think Jordan, I'll echo what you said, and I'm going to jump. We were at 23, and then I'll jump to 60 because that
Yes,
60
please go for it.
was the basically the chapter where Stephen had taken, I don't want to say medicine, but the drugs, right? That
Victor
Elizabeth had procured.
injected him.
Yeah.
Victor injected him. Mm-hmm.
And he had a little bit of time, like it wasn't instant. And so it was basically a conversation between Stephen and Elizabeth as Stephen is like drifting off to sleep. And it was, I give Richard Osman so much credit. Jordan, I echo exactly what you said on the writing of that chapter. Like, very rarely do I finish a book and I remember like a chapter like
hmm.
that, right? Like, usually it's a entire storyline or a certain character, but very specifically, chapter 60, so well written, absolutely heartbreaking beyond repair, but just the love between the two of them and the way they, like, in their final moments talk to each other, and Osman captured that on the page. um I had to like stop listening and walk away for a minute because not only was I like teary-eyed, but it was just so well done that like I didn't know how I could go back into like a Joyce diary entry just or go back into like the box or anything like that, because it was that was intense and beautifully done.
It was.
Agree.
agree. That chapter, but then also Elizabeth's shortly after that, both stick out in my mind. And I would say that that chapter too was just so memorable and beautifully written. And I mean, grief looks different for everybody, but the way that he wrote that for the topic of grief in general, but also Elizabeth as a character and
Yeah.
what Stephen meant to her and to her life, and just you completely feel the emotion when she's like, time is going on at this
Hmm.
point, and but like, no,
But
why is
not for me.
everybody, yeah, why is
Yeah.
everyone just
Yeah.
continuing? The world keeps spinning and everyone's
Hmm.
going about their day. That to me also was just so memorable, and it's why the rest of the book I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a actually the like only quote that I recorded. I don't know which chapter it is. It might be Elizabeth's chapter. I can't remember, but I'll just go ahead and read it really quickly to days of death are days when we weigh our relationship with love in our bare hands. Days when we remember what is gone and fear what is to come. The joy love brings and the price we pay when we give thanks, but also pray for mercy. And it was so good. And listener, where the fox comes in, so we'll just go ahead and tie that together. Stephen tells Bogdan about this snowy fox, fox he's named Snowy with the white tipped ears.
Mhm.
And they seem to have this sort of unspoken, nonverbal language, if you will, where they make eye contact with one another at least once a day. They give each other a nod. Like, it is a very the way that Stephen seemed to describe it, it was a very grounding thing for him. He could rely daily, just like playing chess with Bogdan. He could rely daily on this exchange with the fox. And a really heavy snowstorm comes in. The fox ends up dying. And Stephen asks Bogdan's help after they find him to bury the fox. And I was happy that the fox was given proper, homage as well, but was
What I
definitely
thought was,
Oh, go
symbolic.
ahead.
no, go ahead, Megan.
I was just going to say, I mean, this is all clearly like very foreshadowing of what happens with Stephen. And I think what I really appreciated in that specific scene and chapter and depiction is that it was this, silent thing between Stephen and the fox, but the entire community shows up for it.
It's
And
just,
I feel like that's very, I don't know, like personal and specific to Stephen as well, because I think he's been fighting this battle silently, or Elizabeth has been trying to put him kind of through that silently. And I think she means to do it in a way that's respectful to him because of like the person that he was. And she just, trying to own up to it herself, like come to face the fact that this is her new reality. But I think, even in Stephen's passing, I feel like the entire community is there for that as well. So just seeing, I think that they both play along next to each other as much as,
I think it's
Yeah.
well said. What really like warmed my heart a little bit was when Snowy the Fox was buried and it got around Cooper's Chase. And this might have been in Joyce's diary chapter, like right after that. It went around that everybody knew the fox, but everybody had named the fox something different.
yes.
And I just thought that was so, I don't want to say cute, but like that was just so endearing that,
Yes.
Snowy the Fox was well known, but Snowy was 37 different names throughout Cooper's Chase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I liked that. And it kind of felt like this also last opportunity for everybody to say goodbye to Stephen as well, because for most of them, except for Elizabeth and Bogdan, it was the last time that they would see him. So, cheers to you, Stephen. Oh my goodness. It's so sad. But then we have Joyce taking the lead. Let's go ahead and just transition into something brighter, something lighter. Joyce taking the lead in all of this. I mean, whoever questioned whether or not she had it in her, let's just, no, absolutely not. Like, just leave the chat. This isn't for you, because
I loved it. I thought Joyce, like, it was just like so on brand. That's one of the
yes,
things that I think I love is he stayed so true to these characters. Brie, you mentioned it with Elizabeth in her chapter with Joyce taking the lead. It was just so on brand with her character that I was like laughing and supporting her at the same time in her like way she went about doing it.
Well,
yes,
that's what I loved is it was very much her, and yet you could clearly see the influence
Yeah.
that Elizabeth had. I don't feel like that's really that easy to convey, but it was perfectly done.
Yeah.
No, that's so true. Because the funny thing is, Joyce was kind of always like thinking, okay, what would Elizabeth do in this situation? And then when Elizabeth would come around, or she would, kind of tip her head above the surface or whatever, then she would see Joyce taking the lead and, figure, oh yeah, yes, this is what I would do. Awesome. Like, my girl is taking a page out of my book. She's learning from what she has been experiencing and what she's been seeing. I did love that. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really nice because, okay, we did miss a point. Well, I wouldn't say that we missed it. Can we talk about the lunch scene for a second and like getting all of them together? So Joyce like organizes, and Elizabeth, Ron, and Ibrahim obviously help with this too, but like Mitch comes and Garth and Samantha come and Luca's there, like all before they start dropping like flies. The Thursday Murder Club organizes this lunch, this very interesting lunch, to essentially figure out who did it, right? And I don't know, I thought that was perfectly orchestrated. I really, really liked it. And it was after that scene that we discover it wasn't about the cocaine, but it was actually about the box.
The box that Joyce put under her sink.
Yeah.
And in her microwave. And like in her, yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was
Yeah.
super cute. Because who doesn't put random things in there?
Also, can we just talk for a second about the number of people that like tasted heroin in this book?
Yeah.
Because
And yet no one's like high. It's funny.
well, I was like, this is very casual. Do we all? I think Pauline at one point, doesn't she? Even she's like, oh, yep, like that's heroin. Like,
Yeah.
just okay.
Just
Well, I think it's just like like dabble. Like I don't know. I guess that's true. I
I
don't.
mean, I don't know that I would dabble.
I was gonna say I don't think I could
I
dabble and be like,
wouldn't.
oh yep, that's heroin for sure.
That's true.
yeah,
I would not. But
One,
I probably could-
no. Two, if it was heroin, I don't think I'm gonna dabble.
no.
Yeah.
I think I could go as far as say, not sugar. That's about as far as I
Yes,
can just
agree.
be like,
I wouldn't be like,
confirmed.
oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
you mean you're not going to put that in
Definitely
the
100 grand's worth, like 100%.
Yeah.
You mean you're
yeah.
not going to put that in the brownies or cookie mix, you know?
No.
Yeah.
But that was, I will say, that was a plot twist. I thought it was, I was like so on the bandwagon of it's the heroin, it's the heroin, it's the heroin. And then like they kept saying, this is when I look back that I should have caught on. They kept mentioning the amount of it was $100,000 worth of heroin.
Right.
But then there's like 7 people have died. Like the head of the Afghan contingent that sources the heroin is flying over. And it finally was like, why is like, this is $100 grand. Like, yes, $100 grand is a lot of money, but it's not like 7 people dying and a whole thing coming over. I did not see it being about the box.
But
No.
I think it's because the entire time they're like, oh, this ratty old nasty box. Like everything is like, oh, this gross thing. Like no one cares about that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
And like in my opinion, I was like, oh wow, $100 grand of heroin? That seems like a lot, but not enough to kill everybody over.
Yeah.
No, because you're so right. It does reach a point too where it's like, okay, so many of these people are just, like I said earlier in the episode, I think just like dropping like flies, and you're like, for $100 grand of heroin,
Right.
like, that
Heroin?
just doesn't seem. I mean, sure, maybe
Excessive.
1 or 2 people, but this money, like, because we got Dom, we got Samantha, we got Koldesh, we got Luca, Mitch. That's at least 5. Like,
And I
Our
think
Instagram clip for this episode be all of us talking about the heroin.
Yeah. Do it.
There we go.
Do it.
I love it.
Spot on.
I love it. I
Spot on.
love it.
Instagram's gonna like block this.
Oh my gosh.
What can they
Okay,
do? We're admitting that we've never tried it and we wouldn't know what it tasted like.
that's all we're saying. I mean, come on. So before we get into Ibrahim, and I promise we're going to bring it in for a landing here in just a moment, we have not talked about Nina
Goodness, just
and
missing
Nina's
someone. Yep.
role. So remind me, Nina was the daughter of a friend of Koldesh,
I think her
and
parents were also like in the antique
antique. Yes,
business. Yeah.
Well, I
yes,
think they were, or she was a professor.
correct.
And so
Yes.
Cool Dash often like went to her parents and then to her because of
Yes.
their expertise in dating and appraising and like
Mhm.
having the knowledge to support his business as far as what he was getting in.
Yeah.
Did we anticipate the plot twist that she was involved? Because
No.
she ultimately was.
I thought she was just the very nice person helping her parents' friend. And then I was like, "Oh, you got me." Like,
You got me.
didn't see it coming.
Oh my gosh. Well, and then the other plot twist, bringing Luca back to the chat for a second, the other plot twist was that Luca was the informant for Jill with the NCA. So,
Yeah. Oh, I forgot
listener,
about
this
that.
is where the NCA comes in because Luca was trying to intercept the transaction of the drug deal in order to capture Mitch, in order to capture the Afghan drug ring that all of it was coming from, so on and so forth. And yeah, that plan fails obviously when Garth kills Luca. Um,
I have to say, what a gruesome way. Like, I know these books have people get shot and there's people that like
right.
get stabbed and all sorts of awful, awful things. But to be thrown off a parking structure,
I
that
know.
was like jarring. I mean, intentionally, but that was completely jarring. Like he
It
just
was mm,
flipped him off like a sack of potatoes.
and Mitch was there. Mitch was still alive and it was jarring for him. He was like, what? No. And I think he even doesn't even ask Garth. He's like, no more killing.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he's just
come on,
like,
we're
too
done.
many people are dying. Why is this
Yeah,
happening? What
Yeah.
is
Come
going
on.
on?
yeah.
Well, and
I
I felt
know.
so bad because like his whole internal dialogue was like, this is my last one. Like I'm out after this. I don't want to do this anymore. This sucks. And then he's just seeing everyone die.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Well, okay, so yes, we said that it was the box. The terracotta box was this like old, valuable Egyptian. Was it Egyptian box, I believe, if I'm not mistaken? I can't remember. It was like a relic that was super old, worth more than the 100
I
grand
think it was a
of
millions,
drugs.
multi millions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where that all comes into play. Um, as we're wrapping up, though, too, because I know I said I would come back, and this is probably like a weird part to sort of come back to Ibrahim. But what we'll do is we'll round it out, talk about Ibrahim, and then talk about Connie, because we talked about how book 5 is coming, and hopefully our anticipation is that she will make a reappearance. I do think I had been anticipating that Ibrahim was gay. We talked about this theory that he was on the spectrum. Megan, I think you were the one that had brought it up first. And then early on in the book, Ibrahim talks about Marius. Like, who is this Marius character? And come to find that Marius was Ibrahim's partner that he had loved, that he had adored, he had lived with, and then Marius sadly died. And Ibrahim,
Tragically.
yeah,
Tragically.
in an accident, right? A car accident, I believe,
He
if
was
I'm
hit
not
while
mistaken.
biking.
Hit while
And
biking.
I know this because that happened in one day. Spoiler alert.
He was just taking all these little bits of other books and putting them into one book.
Assisted suicide from me before you.
A notebook.
Like,
The
Yeah.
Notebook. Yeah.
oh,
Okay,
oh
no,
my
but
God.
it just obviously, like, well, I really enjoyed getting this additional layer to
Yes.
him. It explains a lot too about, I mean, in addition to his personality traits, but why he's maybe so guarded
Mhm.
and so quiet. And there, in addition to the tragedy, there's just the undertone of the sadness of like the experiences he's had as
Mhm.
an older gay man and who had to keep his partner secret all
Yeah.
those years ago, and then has
Yeah.
probably, I mean, lived with grief now for years that he couldn't really share with anybody.
He's
Hmm.
never taken another partner, right?
Yeah.
Like, all of that happened years ago, and Ibrahim has sort of just been content to live his life. And what we hear and what we see, what we come to find out is that just like Ron, just like Joyce, just like Elizabeth, the Thursday Murder Club has given Ibrahim purpose. But something that I really did love that I thought Richard Osman did well too, you saw Ibrahim's story come to the forefront a little bit more simply because he was going through things in his relationship with Ron, right? Ron was supposed to be his best friend. Ron was supposed to be his go-to, and Ron is dealing with his own things in his relationship with Pauline. He's
He's
sort
wearing
of
purple shirts.
distracted. Whoa.
Got stuff going on.
Whoa. And he's very clearly distracted, right? And then obviously Elizabeth has everything going on with Stephen, and she can't really give Ibrahim and her friendship with Ibrahim any attention. Same kind of with Joyce, as Joyce was sort of taking the baton, if you will, or if she as she was kind of taking on the lead and taking Elizabeth's role, she didn't necessarily neglect Ibrahim, but I did like, I think in one of her diary entries, she mentions how she knows and sees that his needs are not being met as much by the Thursday Murder Club, by the friend group. And enter Bob, right? And enter Mervyn, enter these like other people too that Ibrahim is trying to fill his time with. And it did open up this really beautiful space for us to learn more about him, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
I also
And
very much relate to his parking anxiety.
sure,
Yes.
Very,
that's real.
very, that is so real on a very deep level.
It's anxiety inducing. Yes,
Hmm.
I,
100%.
yeah, I'm also in the camp of like, if you get there and there's not easy parking,
Just leave.
Just go
just
home.
leave.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why
Just
not?
If
leave.
I have to parallel park, not worth
Mm-mm.
it.
Forget
Not
You know
worth
about
what's
it.
funny? I 100% was there with you. Um, but my husband worked as a valet for a couple of years, and so
it.
driving with
Oh,
him,
He
I
must be an
like,
expert.
oh my gosh, it's like
He's
terrifying,
literally like, I can park anywhere.
pretty much. And so I've like had to overcome that said anxiety because if I'm driving, I'll be like, yeah, you can fit there. I'm like, I cannot fit there. Yeah, you can. Just do it. Or like back into a spot instead of pulling in forward. So I'm with you, but there was a baptism by fire a little bit too.
I'm totally good if I'm passenger.
Yeah,
Totally fine.
yeah.
That's all good. And Jared doesn't stress about it one bit. Like I'm
I
like,
don't think
what if
Marco
we
does
get
either.
there and there's only parallel parking? What if the garage is full? What are we gonna do? He's like, we'll figure it out. And that mentality, I just don't have that. Like I think about recently, I was meeting someone in like downtown Tampa, and I get down there and I felt confident because I park in the same parking garage every single time. So it's no big deal. I was like, I know what I'm doing. I'm going in the middle of the day. No one's going to be there because it's a weekday. No one's going to be there. I get to the parking garage. There are new signs up that you can't park past the second level. And the entire 2 floors are full. And I started to pay. I'm just driving in circles. I was like, what do I do? What do I do?
What do I do?
Where do I go? I was like, where am I supposed to park? Do I go to the other parking garage? I've never parked in the other parking garage. There's only parallel parking on the streets. Do I call and cancel? Like, what happens? So it was a
So
whole.
what happened?
I was
What
going to say,
happened?
don't
I
leave us
drove in
hanging.
circles till someone pulled out, and then I took their spot.
There you go.
You know
And like,
what?
I had to text the person. I was like, I'm here, but there's no parking, so I'm gonna be a little late.
That's so funny. Yeah.
That's really funny.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's too funny. But yeah. Okay. In conclusion, let's just kind of bring it in for landing. Because I was curious about this. If this was the end of the series, would you have been content with it?
No.
No.
Okay.
Or no.
No.
This can't
Okay.
be the end.
Is this consensus?
Mm-mm.
Jordan, what are you?
What are your thoughts?
While there were things that were left to the reader's imagination, right? There were aspects that were not like tied up with a neat bow. I think this is a decent enough place to end. Yes.
Jordan, we still have to go to Dubai.
I know.
Yeah, we had to
And
figure
we
out what's happening
are.
over there.
That's what I'm saying. So
I thought we
am
were
I
going there in
going
this
to
book, and we
read-
didn't.
I know.
Same.
Am I
think
going
Connie-
to read? Am I going to read book 5? And do I want to know what happens? Yes, 100%. I also did feel though like, all right, if this is where it ends, then as rough as that would be, because some things I would have to just sort of like bring to a conclusion or bring to an end in my mind, then okay, fine. Like, I'll deal with that, I guess, is what
Totally
I'm getting
fair.
at. I don't
Totally
know.
fair. I'm curious though, Bree and Megan, because I think we all said like no at the same time. What are you hoping for and or
Yes.
predicting in book 5? Like what is left open for you?
We're
That would
going
be
to
my-
Dubai. Like,
Okay, Bree's
if
going
it
to
didn't
Dubai.
happen in this one, it's happening in the next
It's
one.
happening. Okay.
Yep.
I'm kind of wanting to ship Ibrahim and Bob. So I kind of want to
Huh?
see where this goes.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I feel like I was getting vibes that he was more than just this confidant for this one moment. I feel like Ibrahim is a really good judge of character, and I feel like he
Yeah.
would have had, outside of, not talking to his usual people, I feel like he would have had to have this certain level of comfortability with Bob to really open up to him about something that he's kept to himself for
A long
50 years,
time.
40 years, however long it's been. So I feel like there must be something there that he's picking up on that I would like to see maybe conclude in book 5.
I got those
I
vibes
like
as
that.
well.
Are we going to see a wedding? And if
It
so,
better be
whose?
freaking Chris's. Let's go.
Megan said, Chris and Patrice, come on now.
Yes.
Yes.
What are
Come
you doing?
on.
Oh my gosh.
He's self-confident. He's got this. Like, he means
Did we talk
Just
about this
do
on
it.
another episode where like Chris and Patrice and Donna and Bogdan
Just
should
gonna
just
say,
like
it
have
should
a
be
wedding
double
together?
wedding. Yeah.
Double
wedding.
wedding.
Yes.
I want to see a double wedding, or at least the two of them decide however they're going to like tie that up. And I am really curious about Connie. I know I said this before, but I
Yes.
think like her
We
composition
haven't seen
has
the
been
last
like
of her.
wiped out, and I'm really curious where that's going to go.
We
Do we
haven't
think
seen the last
Victor
of her.
comes back?
Well, he came back for Steven's suicide.
I know.
Obviously.
I think he's going
And
to Dubai.
with,
I was
Then-
saying, I
Has to-
think he's
yeah.
going to Dubai with Elizabeth.
and
Yes.
with all of the tension
Is that
between
gonna
him
be
and
a-
Elizabeth,
Is that
I
a,
don't
a
know.
thing?
I know. It's way too soon. Way too
It's
soon.
too soon.
Too soon.
Megan
An
and Bree said,
emotion-
no, thank you. I'm not
No,
even
thank you.
entertaining it.
No.
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 A friendship,
But
sure.
it's Victor.
Friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah, friendship for sure. I don't think they'll go past that. Maybe he tries to make a move, but I feel like Elizabeth be like, no, stop
I'm
it.
with you, Megan, but I could see that over like an emotional, intimate dinner, and then like no, and we're done. End of chapter.
Yes. Yeah.
I also do
Yeah.
wonder if there's going to be something, because in her like journal entries, her diary entries or whatever, Joyce also kept talking about the new guy coming to Cooper's Chase, Eddie something.
Oh,
So I could see that being a
too.
plot in or a storyline in book 5 as well. Ish.
The only thing I don't like about Dubai is I don't
You're
feel like
just stuck on Dubai.
I know. She doesn't we connected to that.
I don't feel like everybody's gonna go, and I
No.
don't
No,
really
no.
like the crew being separated like that
Agree.
because Dubai to me is a very short story or not a very long storyline. Like they're not gonna pop over for a weekend and pop back like they did in that one. And I think like book 1, we were like, okay, how
Yeah.
did we end up in Greece? And now we're like
Right.
back. What is
Yeah.
going on? I think Dubai is literally like a main storyline, and I don't really
Yeah.
like the crew being separated like that.
But I feel like if they do go to Dubai, then Mike is coming back too. Mike
Okay.
Well, right.
Waghorn or whatever his name is, because it's his girl.
That's the reason to go to Dubai.
Yes.
And if I had to hazard a guess, it's Elizabeth and Ron, potentially with Pauline, that go to Dubai, and Ibrahim and Joyce stay behind. That's
I don't
that's
think
my
Ron and
headcanon.
Pauline go.
I see
know.
Elizabeth, Joyce, and Victor going.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Okay,
Maybe.
I could get behind that. And then Ibrahim
I could
and
see-
Ron and
Ibrahim
everybody
and
else.
Ron
Stay
like
behind.
rekindle a friendship, and Ibrahim and Bob are getting another type of ship together. I could see that. Like,
But I feel
Maybe
like
no.
something has to be happening. Like I feel like they're going to do some small crime unit.
Somebody else has to die
Yes.
in the
Yeah,
UK.
because
Oh my
I
god.
don't see the double wedding happening in Dubai.
Well, and
That-
No.
Ibrahim has to be there because he's crucial to Connie's storyline. So something's going to
Right.
be happening with
Yes.
Connie
That's
there.
why I don't think that he would go.
That's-
That's why I don't think Ibrahim would go.
Yeah.
And but if Ron went, then I feel like Connie's gonna send someone to go after Ron in Dubai.
That's why I think Ron goes.
Oh.
And what happens in Dubai
Okay.
stays in Dubai. So
Heard that. Are we all going to
Ooh.
Dubai? Sounds
Are
like
we going to do reading retreat?
Oh my gosh. That would be fantastic. We're going to go for the
Okay.
Nightingale premiere, February 2020.
I mean, literally, anywhere. If they were like,
Grace
"Hey,
said,
we
"Take
want
me
you
anywhere.
at the premiere in this
don't
country,"
care.
I'd be like, "Say less. I'll pay my
Say
way."
less. Done.
Oh my gosh. Oh. And
Oh, good.
listener, I think that was The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman.
Okay, so question. Which of us is going to be talking about this book as a reading recap after we've all read it and it comes out? Or are we going to do like a special ep where we just all come back really quick?
I think it'd be really cool to do a special episode both with the Netflix movie coming out and with book 5.
Oh
So
my
I
God,
think
content everywhere.
that's true. That's true. But listener, we are moving on from this. Yes, we are not going to be covering book 5. Book 5 does not come out until actually it comes out on my birthday. Super excited. End of September. So get
You two
ready.
are both. You guys are in the middle of my screen. Bree and Jordan both September. Fun.
Yes,
Wait,
that's
and
right.
Emma, aren't you October?
October.
I'm early. Yeah. Bree, when's yours?
September 15th.
Oh my gosh. I know, Jordan, you're the 30th, I
30th.
think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
my wedding anniversary, and then I'm October 2nd.
Correct.
Oh, gosh.
There you
And
go.
Megan's is October 31st.
And I'm Halloween.
Oh my
Look
gosh,
at
Megan,
us.
you would be a Halloween baby.
I love it.
Yes, because I am
I
a
could see
spooky
that about
bitch.
And I love that about you, friend. I love
I
that
love
about
that.
you.
Love that.
But we are taking a little bit of a hiatus, if you will, or a break from the thriller or like murder mystery-esque of all of this, if you will. Like I said, we will not be covering book 5 in our series special next. We will be covering, though, drum roll please, because I'm super duper excited. We're going to be covering American Royals by Catherine McGee. And I'm really, really excited because I've wanted to dive into this series for a very long time. So,
It's
I know
giving
absolutely
Gossip
nothing.
Girl.
I know nothing about this series, so I'm ready to just like blindly jump in and like take it as it comes.
Emily, are you going to be listening to it? I'm curious.
TBD.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, sometimes I start a book on audiobook and then that's going too slowly, so I have to get it elsewhere and read it as an eyeball book because I can go faster.
Yeah.
Other ways it flip-flops because my children don't let me read eyeball books, and so I have to go to earball books. So
Megan said, I
Love
feel
see
that.
on
Yeah.
the vibe on this one. I'll let you know.
Bree,
What were
did
you
you
gonna
say
say,
it's
Bree?
giving Gossip Girl?
I
Is that what you
literally
said?
know nothing about this except for the fact that I feel like it's giving Gossip Girl, but
Mhm.
with American royalty.
I'm just so excited.
So I just expect a lot of drama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I'm
true.
picturing like Bridgerton of today.
Yes, like modern
In
day
America.
Bridgerton. I was about to say
Okay.
modern day
Okay.
American Bridgerton.
Okay.
I could see that.
I'm
I'm
getting
with you.
vibes though, like with a dash of Crazy Rich Asian vibe.
Ooh,
Not like,
yes.
What?
but like the
Yes.
vibe of, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
You know? You know?
We'll see.
Oh my gosh.
Which makes me did anybody watch The Royals, the show that they just like added to Netflix?
No.
I
No.
watched
Okay.
the first episode
Same.
and I stopped.
So hold on.
Uh-oh.
What is
Uh-oh.
this?
So let me just say, so like
Tell us all the things.
I like remember when that show was on and I didn't watch it. And so when I saw
Mm-mm.
that it was on Netflix, I was like, "Oh, the nostalgia. I
Mhm.
cannot
Yep.
wait. I'm
Yep.
so
Yep.
excited for this." Literally like jumped head first. I was like, "This is going to
Yep.
be
Yep.
amazing. I can't wait."
I feel like I remember this series, but I don't at the same
I
time.
could barely get through episode 1.
Like it's so cringy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Like
I'm
so
picturing like if
cringy.
I were to watch like My Super Sweet 16 right now, that's how I would feel.
But see,
I was just overcome with
yeah.
like the nostalgia for it. I was like, I have to watch this. This is gonna be so great. It's gonna hold up.
But
And it
it
didn't?
doesn't.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
so the other thing I throw in there is it's so stereotypical. Like the characters are so stereotyped that 5 minutes in, like I knew how they were all going to react. So there was
Mhm.
no like surprise or like, oh, that's interesting. It was just so generalized and stereotyped and cringy as a
Remind
result.
me, is it reality?
No.
No,
Oh, okay. Okay.
I can't
Yeah,
say
I
this
was
is
with
what
you. I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
pick up, to be
nope,
honest.
nope.
I was like
Interesting.
embarrassed to keep watching episode 1. And then I had to remove it from my continue watching because I just couldn't have it continue.
Bree said, please don't do this to me, Netflix
Done.
algorithm.
Sorry.
No.
I like feel bad talking so badly about it, but it was painful.
It was painful. I was like, done. So done. Yeah.
No, that's valid. That's completely valid. Well, hopefully this series will be better than that for you. I don't know.
I can't wait.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm excited.
But yes, we absolutely should recap and like share thoughts as the movie comes out about a month from now, which I'm super excited about, the Thursday Murder Club. And then the book comes out in a couple of months. So that's really exciting. And I am pretty sure book 5 is the final book. So someone will have to probably bring it up and talk about it at our reading recap for sure, just to
100%.
Yeah.
cover
how it ends. But I'm excited to dive into a new series and to have a little bit of a change of pace. But I am going to miss Cooper's Chase. I really,
Agree.
really am. And Steven. And the fox.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
to both of those characters.
Oh,
Awesome.
okay. Well, my sweet friends, I have loved covering this series with you. It's been amazing and just so wonderful. Listener, if you have been reading along with us, if you have other suggestions, we just ask rate, review, subscribe. We love hearing from you and look forward to what we have planned coming up for you content wise with the rest of our series specials, the rest of our reading recaps, and author interviews to come. Of course, please follow the podcast. Let us know what you think. You can definitely find us at Narratives and Nightcaps. You can find me, Jordan, on Instagram at Cozy Reads and Sips.
And you can find me, Emily, at Bookstop Bottles.
Until next time, my friends. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.